Hello, everyone. Welcome back. We are live. We are here for the end of Series 6. Not just the end of Series 6, but the end of the whole series. I'm going to miss this one. Um, but the cool thing is, it still stays alive on the interwebs. Well, no, I can't say forever because I don't know how long the internet's going to last. But it is on the YouTube and it's on the Twitch. So all these past episodes from all the series is there for you, your enjoyment. So if you're checking out just this one, you've missed a ton, which is totally fine. Watch this one, go back and catch up and go, oh, that's what that is. It'll be super cool that way. It's kind of like watching Memento or something. Uh, so enjoy. I'm going to give this to Michael so that we can get this on the road. It is all yours, sir.
All right. Hello, and welcome to Strange Generations, a nightmarish journey through shadows of America, one generation at a time. And we have we're in the present day, we're in 2020, and this is going to be the final episode of this arc and the final episode of Strange Generations. Yes, 18 episodes. We've gone from turn of the century to the 20s, the sleazy or the kind of dark side of the 50s, the sleazy 70s, quick stop in the 80s, and it all comes down to this. I'm joined by four amazing, top of their craft role players here. Let's go around and meet them. I got to give them a lot of gratitude. I'm sure I'm going to be able to do that at the end. But let's go ahead and get into the game. Let's introduce ourselves. Please let me know who you are, who you're playing, how you're feeling. I know everybody's playing two characters, but just let me know the one, and we'll reveal the secondary character as the game goes on. So let's start with Nick.
Hello, everybody. I'm Nick, and today I've been playing James Thompson, the former football star turned firefighter. He's just been sort of trying to keep everybody okay and make sure that everyone's safe and sound. So now he's hearing that he's got connections to these people from the past, and he's like, "What is going on?" So
Well, I mean, I gotta say, nobody's died, so he's done a pretty good job. I mean, some characters got close, but no fatalities just yet. We are also very lucky to be joined by Kat.
Hi, I'm Kat. I am playing Moxie Pilot Cordero. Sometimes I forget the full ridiculousness of her name, but there it is. She's a thoroughly modern young lady who was named by a tragic Gen X parent. She is very plugged into technology. She's quite bright, but she's also a little annoying. But that's something she enjoys. She enjoys being obnoxious and poning people, if people still say that. I don't know. At any rate, yeah. So she's a witch now. She has a familiar. The familiar's name is Gray Malkin, and Gray Malkin is this sad chihuahua with mange with like one dead eye that occasionally falls out on its eye stalk, and she pops it back in. And yeah, that's what happens when you kind of fail at summoning a familiar, but she loves it because it's her familiar and she's very attached to it now. And it's kind of the tradition of familiars. I think I've talked way more about her familiars than I should. I'm wearing the outfit of the character, my secondary character that we'll be getting into later. But it also works out for the fact that Moxie is 100% convinced she's a witch of extraordinary power now.
Whoa. Well, I think we're going to see some interesting interactions. We are also very happy, very lucky to be joined by Dallas.
Hey, everybody. I'm Dallas, and thank you, as always, Michael. Happy to be playing Donovan Tran. he is been through it all, as far as pushed by family and encouraged well by friends and mentors. Had an amazing early career, got into medical field later on in life. Many people doubting it, and thought he was doing the right thing. Still thinks he is, but man, over his head. What's going on in 2020 is crazy enough, let alone the resurfacing of everything else. But he's feeling like it's working out. The mix of the crew that he's been running around with recently has really like hit all the right points, if I could put it that way. It's a great mix. So not sure what's going on with half the things that some of them say, but has to believe he knows that. So his head is the best in the game that he could be.
Very true. And yeah, I gotta say, in terms of effectiveness, like this team is getting it done. Yeah. All right. And then rounding us out, very lucky to have him. It is Marvin.
So hey, I'm Marvin, and I'm going to be playing stage magician and entrepreneur of magic, Solomon Brimson, who unfortunately kind of stole his dad's position on this team. He wasn't exactly supposed to go around adventuring with these fine folks, but Solomon wanted to prove that magic is a tool to be used, not just stored away like his dad used. But as Solomon has found out, he's not exactly the best magician. He can't even read Latin, which is kind of required. But thanks to a good meeting with an alien friend who let him fly his ship, Solomon has embraced his true calling as more of a showman, with a little bit of magic involved. And with that showmanship, he's going to help save the world. After he has a very hard talk with his dad that he doesn't really want to do.
Well, we will certainly see how that all works out. Let me give a little quick recap, and then we'll pick up right where we left off for the ending of Strange Generations. 2020 was bad, but look a little deeper, and you'll see that it's ultimately just a year, an arbitrary number of days. It wasn't the calendar that shredded the social safety net, tied health insurance to employment, allowed the richest to hoard wealth and resources, and created a nation where madness, chaos, and conspiracy theory will always find fertile soil. And the bad times won't end when 2021 rolls around. That's the way America's always been, in every generation. But every generation also has its heroes, who stand together and stop things from getting worse. This time, those heroes are Zoomer teen-turned-witch Moxie Pilot Cordero, wise Dr. Donovan Tran, aspiring wizard Solomon Brimson, and hero firefighter James Thompson. But they're part of a legacy which has always arisen to battle the servants of the all-consuming evil god Abraxas. Now, they're closing in on stopping Abraxas for good, destroying the oblation, the vessel that can build a bridge from his dimension to our own. To stop him, they need backup. 4 other heroes summoned from the past. And there's plenty of heroes to choose from. Because when you're in a country with all the problems and promise of America, every generation is a strange generation. All right. Now that I've officially said the title of the show in the show, we
You
can.
did the thing.
Now it's a proper series.
Oh, yeah. I had to. We're going to pick up right where we left off. You guys are all in a UFO. Thanks to rescuing Judith, she was able to find out where Abraxas is lurking, and or where not Abraxas, where the oblation has been placed, where Kyle Candle is brewing this vessel. It is in a mall called the American Promise, located in Jersey. It's a dead mall, a very troubled development that's been creaking along for quite a while now, just in various states of construction, and like finally opened right as the pandemic kicked in. Now, totally quiet, totally abandoned, and the perfect place for some evil magical rituals. So your UFO zooms over, you see this mall down below you, this humongous expanse of like white painted kind of dome shaped octagonal pentagonal buildings, and then the flying saucer settles down in a vacant lot outside. Oh, James.
I was just sort of resting my hand.
Oh,
Just
okay,
happened to be
no
up.
problem.
Sorry.
All right, so Judith leads you guys outside, and she's like, Moxie, you got the book?
Yep, I do. What do
All
you
right.
want me to do? You want me to turn someone into a tree? You want me to have trees attack people? There's a lot of stuff involving trees in here.
Well, trees can be pretty powerful, but nothing like that. Go ahead and turn to, and she gives you a page number.
She flips to it.
She's like, all right, now this is going to be weird. I need all four of you guys to put your hands in the middle. You got to touch hands. Kind of a all-in go team gesture.
I remember.
Alright.
Yes.
It's a little weird
Gotcha.
with the camera.
Can we at least use hand sanitizer first?
Yeah, go ahead.
Don't worry. Got
Thank
plenty.
you.
Always good to have some hands standing. It's important.
I mean, no offense, guys, but I know where your hands have been.
None taken.
I've just been petting gray milk this whole time.
Oh, I'm sure he's clean.
Magically.
All right, Judith says, okay, now you guys all have connections with the past, even they're not blood connections, they're connections through Abraxas. Other champions who have risen up to battle this ancient being. What I need you guys to do now, cast your minds back, let them go, let them seep into the past, grab somebody, and then bring them forward. All right, I'm going to say the magic words. So while you guys are having your hands in the middle, she recites the incantations. You feel a tingling in your fingers. There's kind of a glow on the underside of your palms. And then when you pull your hands back and look down at the vacant lot, right there on the pavement are 4 new characters. 4 previous champions of humanity who helped stop Abraxas. Let's go around like the opposite way and let me know, who did you summon from the past to help you this time? Starting with Solomon.
Well, as you could probably tell from my background, I'm bringing back a previous character, the conspiracy theorist Jordan Mays. Not the old professor of the 80s, but the youngish 30-something from the 70s. And Jordan's probably like, okay, so we got all of this connected. All right, now I just gotta polish this and they'll be fine. What the? Where the? Oh my! Who are you? What the? Who are you? What? They got me. Oh, lords, they got me. They finally got me. Well, you never take me alive. I know what you want, and you're never gonna have it.
Judas like, no, sir, calm down. I'm not sure who you are. Wait, are you Dr. Mays?
Doctor? Well, I am working on a doctor. How do you know that? How do you know?
I knew you when you were older and I was younger.
Wait. Did I just experience a temporal event pulling me into the future?
Yeah. In so many words.
Well, there's nothing I can really do about this until time reverts itself. I'm going
Welcome
to,
to
be stuck here for
2020.
2020?
Uh-huh.
50 years in the future?
That's right. And Doctor, you're not alone. So, Dallas, who did Donovan pull out of the past, and what do they look like, and how are they responding to this strange turn of events?
I think Donovan, I would guess reaching sort of maybe like subconsciously would pull in the opposite, and a very large looming character would be standing, in place of who he would call forth. So yeah, Jack Rabbits would be there, and I think that would be because, like I said, he just would think about like what am I possibly like lacking, like mentally, physically, or whatever. I think Rabbits kind of like complements that.
Definitely. So, is this like kind of an older Ravitz, or how?
Yeah, this would be his adult. Is definitely like his 50s. By the age of 50, so like 1929's Rabbits.
All right. And how does Ravitz react to being, pulled forward in time?
I think he would he'd have a look around and be like, oh, so they finally got to the architecture that we were looking at. Because like 1920s architectural drawings are actually like futuristic and very modern compared to what like it's been doing today even. So he might even be disappointed in the fact that it's not as futuristic as it was supposed to be. But everything else, like what people are pulling out of their pockets and using, like the plastics and everything, like would be simply amazing. Screen technology, all that, yeah, he would be enthralled.
Definitely some future shock, but I think he's adjusting to it.
Yeah, so he would, he'd have like those old terms, sort of like talking like Captain America in a way. I can't come up with like anything at the moment, I would say, but he would definitely have some of those old terms coming out, and then be like, "Well, what is that thing?" And what's that? Man, I can't even think of any good terms right now.
All right, we'll keep that in mind.
Like doohickey or something, but yeah, whatever it is.
I'm sure there'll be some ample opportunity for some fish out of water style commentary going on. Okay, so we got Ravitz back in the game. Who does Moxie Pilot summon?
Sure. Well, Moxie Pilot attempts to summon the Teeth, but instead gets Desdemona Barrow, age 11.
Oh wow, it's not even the old. Okay, so we get a little girl.
Yeah, she gets little Desdemona.
Ooh, okay. How does young Desi react to this?
Young Desi, when she appears, is like crouching in fear, and then stands up and brushes her dress off and goes, "Oh, well, that's unusual. I wonder how I ended up here. I was just about to be eaten, but now I'm not. Lovely. She looks at Ravitz and's like, "You look very much like somebody I know." Yes, quite. Hello? I don't know where I am or why I'm here. Can somebody please explain it to me?
You're just like, "Hello, sweetheart. This is gonna sound strange, but you're in the year 2020.
Okay, adjusting to that information. And done.
You've time traveled because, and I'm really not sure what Moxie was thinking pulling out a little girl, but we need your help in defeating the god Abraxas."
I was trying to summon the monster in your basement, kid. That would make sense because it was just about to eat me, so quite. Well, thank you for saving my life, even if on accident. And I don't know what an Abraxas is, but I'm certain that I'll be able to be helpful in some variety. I do have rather a lot of money, if that helps. My father gives me a whopping $10 in allowance every week.
Judas like, you can go ahead and save that.
Okay.
And then we're getting quite a team together. Nick, who does James pull forth?
So James, I think, is thinking like, okay, if it's going against something big, we need someone who, like, seriously, cat. Sorry.
No, I love it. Always good to have
Um,
some cows on the stream.
Apparently. So James is like, okay, we need someone who knows what they're doing. So he goes back and he goes past the drug addict from the 70s. He's like, oh nope, definitely not.
Aw.
Goes all the way back to like, wait, who's that guy with all those weapons? That sounds like it. So he pulls out Brian Kelly from the 1920s.
Oh, kind of paranoid.
Yep, paranoid, quote unquote, monster hunter.
Yeah, you know, I think him and Maze would get along pretty well.
Well, so I think Brian appears and he's just like, what the fuck is, where the hell am I?
Sorry, my name is Judith Cordero. This is going to sound very strange, but you've traveled through time.
Is that Big Jack?
Oh, you two know each other?
Yeah.
That does make
Good to see.
sense.
Oh, and I suppose that I'm chopped liver then, Brian. Provided you are, Brian. You're quite a bit older. Did I die when
wait.
I was a very young child? You two have to tell me if I did.
No.
No, you
No,
are.
no, definitely. Okay, I'm gonna forego the accident. It's going everywhere.
Totally
Now
okay.
I realize who you three are. You're friends of my granduncle.
Random. Can you put a name to that face?
Oscar,
Oscar.
I think.
I knew.
No.
And Isaac.
Isaac.
Yes, there was an
Isaac.
Isaac. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, out of character, I kind of forgot what his name was.
No worries.
Totally okay. We've got a lot
It
of
was
names
Isaac.
floating around. A lot of names out there.
You
Of
said,
course, I seem to have a theme. But yes,
So,
my
wait.
granduncle Isaac.
is that little Desi?
Yes,
It-
I'm Desi. For some reason, I'm 11, and you two are both adults.
Well,
I'm sorry, pink-haired girl. Did you make some sort of horrible mistake? Did you mean to summon me as an adult? No, like I said, I was trying to summon the monster in your basement. I got you. You don't listen. Understood.
well, no. Desi, you survived.
Do this like
And-
all right, let's not do the spoiler alerts. Beyond that, let's leave it at that, okay?
Long story
right, then.
short, I assume most of us are dead in present day, anyways.
Well, I would hope so.
like
I was living in the 20s. It was
Yeah.
19. Oh wait, what year is this?
This is 2020.
2020.
Oh boy.
Oh,
Which
that's-
essentially means that I've jumped past.
that's
two
nearly
millennia.
100 years for Big Jack and I.
But
And over
Desi
100
is-
for me.
That's over 100 for Desi.
Yes.
Yes.
Half a
Isaac-
century for me. It don't really matter as much.
Well, I hate to double this future shock on you, but we are on something of a timetable.
Yes, so
Right.
everyone, shush. Listen to Judith.
All right.
Thanks, Solomon. Yeah, she points over to the American Promise Mall. Inside there is something called the Ablation of Abraxas. It's the vessel for summoning Abraxas, the god, bringing him into our dimension.
What
Or-
is with people in summoning Abraxas? What is with these people?
I'm sorry, but what is an Abraxas?
He's
like
a
the Earl King.
god that we dealt with in the future for your future, technically, and apparently our future as well. Like, what is with everyone? He's a
They're fighting
freaking
the
god
Earl
of destruction.
When I was. There's something worse than the Earl King.
Oh yes,
I'm afraid so.
yeah.
Yeah.
Compared to Abraxas, the Air King is mostly
Little
small
fudge.
fry. Yes, exactly. You're very well versed, young lady.
Well, I try to be. I do have all the excellent books that I read when I had scarlet fever. I certainly hope that all disease has been eradicated by this point.
Scarlet fever.
Judas like,
was
well,
Judas
Future, it has to be.
I would
you
hope
think
so.
that.
be
Donovan's just-
honest, you see the mask we're all wearing, guys? Yeah, we're kind of in the middle of something at the moment.
So
Yeah.
it's not a fashion accessory. So why are you wearing masks specifically?
Pandemic.
A
Another one.
pandemic. And that a mask is helping in what way?
Helping to spread. It's helping to stall the spread of the disease. You wear the mask, you won't
Is that sort of
be
like a-
able to spread it.
Is that sort of like a plague doctor thing?
A little bit. Look, it's not quite Spanish flu level, but
There's a
It's
flu from
pretty bad.
Spain now.
oh, okay. I'm sorry. That spoiler alert. That was a spoiler alert. Just forget I said that. You're
Is
just
this-
like, this is going to be complicated. All right, look, let's just try and set the future shock aside. Let's go into that mall and destroy Abraxas, okay?
Why are you talking about spoiled things? What are you talking about?
Oh my, okay. What I mean is I don't want to give away the secrets of the future. All right, look, forget I
Right
said
then.
anything. Let's take care of this.
And that's called a spoiler for what specific reason?
So, as she starts leading you guys across the road, just then another car comes careening down that street and brakes to a halt. Solomon, what kind of car does your dad drive?
It's the professor's car, actually.
Oh, cool. Did he get
Old
it
Bessie.
restored or?
He would restore it.
Oh, awesome.
It's kind of something stayed in the family, left over from Professor Mays. It was kind of like, is that my van? I thought we were in the future.
Yeah, it comes to a halt, and Walter comes out.
Oh,
Walter
no.
Brimson.
Oh, no.
Solomon?
Oh,
Solomon.
hi, Dad. How's it going? Yeah, I know I'm in trouble.
I should say so. Stealing my email, reading my email,
What's
and then
exactly
going on this this super dangerous adventure.
It was to prove a point.
Well, if the point is that you're going to be in as much trouble as is possible, then yes, consider it proved.
No, it's to prove that magic can be used to the betterment of humans, not just to be stored away in some desperate conspiracy theorist lab. Sorry, Professor, but it is kind
Wait,
of skissy.
Professor May, Dr. Mays, is that you?
Huh. Walter? Little Walter.
Yeah, this is my son, Professor. You look a lot younger.
Well, yes, it's been pulled through time and space to this.
Solomon, you are messing with time travel now. Is that right?
Hey, we all did. I mean, we brought all these folks back and kind of
Oh.
promised to everyone.
Ugh. And Judith goes over to him and she's like, "Look, I'm sorry. Solomon answered. We needed the help, and I gotta say, he's kept us going. He pretended to be the figure behind the A-Data conspiracy theory. He flew a UFO. Walter, you raised him right." Walter's like, "Solomon, is that true?"
Yes, it is. I built my own out here, and I think everyone else can attest to that. Solomon's like, come on, guys, back me up here.
It's been
Moxie.
useful.
Moxie looks up from her screen. Wait, what are we attesting to?
Okay, maybe not hers so much, but I'm pretty sure the other
Yeah.
guys.
Yeah, not me.
Kid's been pretty useful, especially flying that UFO.
Donovan, is that so?
Actually, yes. Where one of us has been not able to do, the other has filled in. It's been impressive.
Well,
Excuse me, may I ask a question?
yes, Mitt. Go ahead.
Oh.
I guess you're another.
This magic that you all keep talking about, is that the little screens that you're all holding? Is magic just common now?
That's a fair point.
I guess it would be magic to you guys, but no, it's literal magic, like that book Moxie's holding.
Yeah, these
Wait.
little screens, just some technology. Think
I
of them
don't
like
remember what it's-
televisions, or I guess you don't have those, did you?
Was that book like used back in the 20s? I can't remember as a player.
The book
Yeah,
was
it
used in
was.
the 20s, but not in the 1890s.
The
Gotcha.
sword was, though.
Yeah.
Is that
So
like
with
what-
that, Brian is just like, "What are you doing with that book? That book is dangerous.
Yeah, it is.
Don't be so fucking flippant about it."
Be fucking flippin' fuck. It's fun. Magic's
Judith's like,
fun.
we're being super careful with the book. Don't worry.
Yeah, I'm being
I mean,
real
it's
careful.
what brought you guys here. I'm afraid we do need it.
Also, it's
Wait,
dope AF.
Honestly, that book is probably the reason why you've got this whole dealing with the Braxis in the first place.
I would have to agree. It all comes back to that book.
Well,
and
when this is
also
done,
several other Braxonites.
when this
Honestly,
is
should have
done,
destroyed it back in the 20s.
I don't know if it can be destroyed, but when this book is done, when this is done, when Abraxas is gone, we're definitely putting that book someplace safe, away from any human hands. Sorry, Moxley.
I could solve global warming with this book.
Not worth it.
Definitely worth it. How
I mean-
dare you?
It's a monkey's. You know the monkey's paw. You ever read that one?
Uh-huh.
This thing's like a monkey's book. It's if you try and solve global warming, it's gonna backfire somehow, and it's gonna do something worse. Look, let's focus on what's going on right now. Walter, I'm sorry putting your son in danger, but like, we did the same kind of thing when we were even younger than him. And Walter's like, well, I can't argue with that. And son, I think you're right. You held your own.
Exactly. Besides, I'm an adult. I can look after myself.
You're a young adult.
You don't have to put it like that, but fine, whatever. What I'm saying that is, I can do this.
Well, actually,
Just give me the chance.
I brought something that I think could help. I was going to use it myself, but I'm going to give it to you. And he gives you the case of Oswald Bueller's Shadow Sentinels, the magical RPG.
Wait. The case I have wasn't. And Solomon checks the case that he had this whole time, and you had a decoy?
Yeah, you didn't think I would leave like a magical role-playing game that could summon literal demons lying around?
I don't know. My dad leaves his crossbow lying around.
Yeah, well, I should definitely have a talk with him about that. Anyway, Donovan, you remember this?
Oh, yes, I remember quite well. I think we played
Yeah.
it once officially, and that was all that was needed.
Saved our asses back then, so might do the same now.
Well-
Pardon me, I just have to ask a question. Does everybody curse this much in the future?
Judith's like, I'm sorry about that, honey. You're gonna have to get used to it. It's kind of a swearing sort of time.
Fair
Women
enough.
can wear more pants than they used to as well.
Huh. That would be more than no pants. So,
Yep.
hooray
There's-
for progress. I'm sure
Oh,
there's been a woman president by now then.
You'd think so, but not quite.
They
Yeah,
tried.
close.
They voted in an idiot instead.
Yeah, we got so close, but then yeah.
Okay.
All right. Well, before we spoil any more moments of history, let's go hit them all. So you guys, you head over, and unfortunately, there at the entrance, it's got, a wide, well, not a veranda, a wide kind of plaza leading inside just off the parking lot. bunch of those cement stanchions in the way, probably some weird ultra modern geometric sculptures that are also fountains. You know, the kind of thing designed by committee to throw a little bit of class and outside of a shopping mall. But around those bizarre sculptures, you see the Patriot Paladins, led by Mold, Ronnie Mold, their paladin in chief, who you guys first put roots on his feet, nailing him to the ground. You cut his ear off, and then you blasted him and his men with a UFO's lasers. So he's definitely not your biggest fan. Right now, him and the Paladins are like standing guard outside of the American Promise Mall. As always, they're armed to the teeth, and they're in a bad mood. They haven't quite seen you just yet. There's enough like cover of shipping containers, construction equipment. The mall is still like, even though it opened for like a month before the pandemic set it down, it was still very much under construction. So they don't quite see you just yet, but they're blocking the entrance. Oh, and I should say Judith had time to rest a little bit, so she's at 4 out of 7. She has 4 out of 7 psychic energy tokens to be used, but so that's a possibility as well. But how are you guys going to get past these guys and into the mall itself?
You know, this might be really some very weird thinking on my part, but she looks at Ronnie Mold, who we've like mangled and tortured and done all these horrible things to. Then she looks at Gray Malkin, and then she thinks about time travel, and then she looks at Ronnie again, and she's like, I think I figured something out, you guys. This might be nuts, but I'm pretty sure that Gray Malkin is him, and he's Gray Malkin. I'm pretty sure I'm right about this. I'm pretty sure I can use the book to like put it all together.
Judith's like, this sounds insane. I'm gonna say no.
You're a believer in the canine conspiracy, that humans evolved from canines instead of apes. It's all hogwash, but through magic, it may be possible.
I accurately believe that I could turn someone into a dog.
That too.
That sounds more possible. But what about the rest of the paladins?
My guess is the rest of them are going to be so freaked out by seeing their leader turned into a dog that they're all going to just scatter.
Judith says, oh, sorry. Go ahead, Dallas.
I would say Rabbit's probably just kicking with like, well, we used to just use loud distractions in my time, but that's all we had with loud
That's true.
things.
My granduncle always did say, bring explosives.
Oh, yep, that sounds about right.
That sounds like Des and and Brian.
Oh, and I should say, Rabbits and Brian, they can have whatever equipment they want to. So, like,
as adults, we start using loud explosives. Well, that's good to know.
I don't think I have my explosives with me. I got a few knives, got this pistol with some silver bullets, maybe some wrought iron.
Let's see. I've got a book on the occult, a shrunken head, and a hand of glory. Is any of that helpful?
Hand of glory.
Judith's like, Hand of Glory could be good for sneaking past, bypassing some locks, sneaking through.
Cool.
You could use to try and sneak past those guys. I hear those make you invisible. Never really seen one. They're kind of gruesome. But I don't know if I really want to risk our youngest member on this. Maybe let's try turning him into a dog. I can't believe I'm saying this.
Moxie is on it. She's ready to do this.
All right, Moxie, if you think you can do it, go ahead. I mean, it's not the weirdest thing we've seen you do.
Woo! That is a 19.
Oh, wow. Okay, so it totally works. It's even like gives some benefit. Like, we'll think about that. But first, like, what does this look like, and what kind of dog are we turning Mold into?
Well, I think that she was really convinced that it would turn him into Gray Malkin, but if you're saying that's not what happens, I'm gonna say that he gets turned into a Labradoodle.
Oh, one of the best kinds of dogs. All
And she
right,
thinks
so
about making him as friendly as possible. And Labradoodles are about as friendly as possible. They're even hypoallergenic. What's not to love about a Labradoodle?
are we thinking
Uh,
it's like a super painful, like American Werewolf in London style transformation, or
a super painful transformation into a Labradoodle?
yeah,
Definitely.
or is it just a poof and he's a Labradoodle?
No, I think it should be American Werewolf in London because maybe that'll give the secondary benefit of it scaring the shit out of everybody.
Absolutely. Yeah, so he starts going like as his like the bones break in his hands. Fur bursts. This the blonde curly Labradoodle fur bursts out. His face like crunches and smashes, and a beautiful Labradoodle muzzle pops out. And as his ears are getting nice and long and floppy, um, the other paladins are just like freaking out. They don't know what to do. A bunch of them probably shoot off bursts into the air, and they start dashing away and running for cover. So they're pretty much broken. They're still sort of in your way, so you might need a little bit more to get totally past them, but they're definitely like on the run.
Moxie gives everybody a big thumbs up as at the same time she gets a massive nosebleed.
Judith's is like, oh my god, Moxie, are you okay?
Huh? This? Oh yeah.
No.
I guess there's gonna be a price to doing all this stuff after a while, huh?
Yeah, that's why as soon as this is over, like I said, book's going away.
Okay.
Surprised you've gotten this far.
Yeah, listen to Mr. Kelly there. He knows what he's talking about. All right, so you got just a few of these paladins running in terror across the driveway. What are you guys doing?
Know. Those guys don't look like they know how to use those guns that they've got on them.
You're just like, yeah, they're more of amateur gun lovers, gun nuts, I guess we call them.
Oh, you have those. All right.
Yeah, I'm not sure if we had their kind in your time. I mean, maybe even worse back then.
Guns were sort of a new thing.
Oh, is that what they're holding? Those are guns. I thought they were some very strange variety of metal toy. Huh.
No. I mean, I've got this one. He pulls out like a 1920s era pistol.
No,
so something similar. Yeah.
Very dangerous. So, how are we going to get around them, especially when they're kind of freaked out?
Well,
maybe we could just convince them to surrender. I mean, they're already freaked out by their leader being turned into a dog.
I think they could do it, as long as we put on the right kind of show.
No, don't worry about that. I'm on it. Can anyone provide smoke by any chance?
Ooh, let's see. Rabbits, what, you got some smoke bombs, you think?
I don't know if he'd have any smoke bombs, but if there's any grenades handy, like he might be able to like alter it by lighting the. No, I don't know. He wasn't more of the grenade guy. That was more of like Ez and Brian.
You could say he has some grenades or some other, weaponry.
But I would say he has something that definitely makes a loud noise. So we can maybe go with that.
Okay, what's the noisemaker here?
Probably like quite a large shotgun. Probably like an elephant, like 8 gauge.
Oh man, that is super scary.
Yeah, that's probably something he would carry after last encounter that he had.
All right, so you're thinking like he fires that off into the air?
Yeah, definitely before he shoots somebody.
Okay, so we get that big boom gets everyone's attention, and then what does Solomon do?
And Solomon puts on his best showman voice, wraps himself in his cape, and says, "Behold the folly of messing with the powers of Abraxas, lest you meet the same fate You will lay down your arms and surrender, or be turned into dogs.
I love it. The classic dog turn threat. Okay, go ahead and roll a charm, but it's not going to be hard. After that shotgun going off and the dog transformation.
And I am skilled at this, so hopefully it will be great. I rolled a 1.
Oh man.
With the +3, that's a 4.
Okay. Yeah, I think a 4 is going to do it. Like,
Okay.
even though you rolled a 1, I think the plus is going to move it up. I think the combination of the shotgun blast and the dog transformation is going to turn the tide here. These guys are like, he's a lot less intimidating than Abraxas would be, but there was that big boom, and they turned Ronnie into a dog. Let's get out of here. They hurl their guns down and dash away into the parking lot.
Oh, man,
That is
I'm not even
intim-
close to being done doodling.
Not as intimidating as Abraxas, really?
Well, Praxis is a world-devouring entity. Makes sense.
Yeah, Mommy turned somebody into a dog, Grey Milk, and yes, I did.
Do we think Gray Malkin and the dog that was Ronnie are getting along?
No idea.
Some
He's
butt
probably
sniffing is
not.
happening, maybe.
Does he still have the mind of a human?
No, he's got a dog brain. So, because she said she wants one that's friendly. So she rolled a 19. So he's a dog, all dog.
Just all dog.
So
Mhm.
Brian is going to pick up one of the guns that they dropped and just sort of like trying to examine it, see if he can sort of figure out, and just be like, "Hey, Big Jack, do you think you could see if you can figure this out?" I don't know what kind of voice I'm doing, but oh well.
It's good. It works.
Yeah. Take a look at it. If it's got a bolt action to it, then there's something that'll work from my end. So that'll somehow figure out.
Yeah, I mean, guns haven't. I mean, I'm sure this gun has like a bunch of like a fancy sight and like a laser pointer duct tape to the end, like
Right.
lots of expensive additions to it. But
It looks similar to a Tommy gun, doesn't it?
Trigger's in the right place.
Yeah.
Barrel's in the right place. Just look at those buttons real quick and read those
Sure.
carefully.
I think one of them says safety. Look, that's even off. Isn't safety supposed to be?
Yeah, because even Springfield 1911 45s had automatics. You had to click it into So safety. These guys are idiots. You're right, Brian.
Brian's gonna immediately click that on.
all right, so now that you're armed up, you guys head on in to the Dead American Promise. Your shoes squeak on tile and echo across massive, empty hallways. All around you is emptiness. Empty corridor, empty white walls, huge, empty courtyards, surrounded by empty storefronts. The occasional sign or advertisement, water damaged and dust covered, are ruins of a dead civilization. Up ahead, a balcony looks out over a massive atrium, occupied by an indoor amusement park. Right now, the roller coaster and Ferris wheel have been switched on. They hum and creak without passengers. At the center of the roller coaster, surrounded by metal struts and railings, rests a giant eyeball. Kyle Candle faces it, and he's not alone. Men in dark suits, with sunglasses on their waxy faces, stand guard. So you guys all kind of hide behind the railing, look out over this indoor amusement park, and you see this below you. Judas like, okay, you guys see it? That eye? Kind of hard to miss. That's the ablation.
It's
Giant
always
eye.
with these cults. I always want to
Yes.
summon the giant demon and never wanted friendly aliens.
I'm with you,
Desdemona
mate.
starts.
Sorry.
I was just going to say that Desdemona starts thumbing through her book of the occult to try to understand what this eyeball is all about.
Okay, go ahead and give me a brains roll for Desdemona.
Okay. She's so much less smart. That's a 4 for Desdemona.
Okay. She probably figures out it's connected to Abraxas in some way, but that's about it.
Gentlemen, I believe that I've figured out that this is connected to Abraxas in some way.
You don't say.
Sounds about right.
Mm-hmm. What do you want from me? I'm 11 years old.
Do you mind if I take that book and like thumb through it?
Certainly, you can look at my book, The Occult.
Sure. I did some studying as I grew up after our little thing, so
Can I ask you a question? And I know that we are trying to avoid spoiling food somehow.
something
Did
like
Connor
that.
and I, did we stay together? Was that a thing?
No, he found a fellow professor. He became a professor. I think you and Alfin like traveled the world or something.
That's nice.
I think you did marry a bloke. No, someone different.
She's just like, all right, so see, happy ending. Okay, so let's not do anything else though. Let's not ruin
Wait, do
this
I not
child's
get
life.
married? Do I end up being a spinster?
No, you do. You do get married just to someone else,
Okay.
Mr. Kelly, let's not go any further with this, okay?
right?
No more spoiler alerts.
Yeah.
Well,
I'm
but the
guessing-
fact that we're even
yeah.
here means it's a spoiler in of itself, isn't it?
That's a fair
The
point.
future is already changed just by you summoning us.
Doctor, or you have not changed at all. Or should I say, you don't change.
Well, yeah,
Um,
so nothing matters.
No, we're not. Okay.
See,
Let's try and
this
focus
is
on the
something I
captain.
agree with you. Nothing does matter. That's what I'm saying. So we should just use all the spells.
No,
Now Moxie's flipping through the book to find something really.
not doing that. Doctor, those guys with the sunglasses. I think I remember you telling me that you dealt with them. You will tell me that you have dealt with them before. Oh, the past tense, present tense, future tense is very confusing here. But is that so? You encountered those things before?
Oh, yes. Just a month ago, in my perspective, dealt with a cult just like this. From what I remember, we summoned trees to deal with them.
Moxie
can't
gives
do
a
that
thumbs
here.
up and she proceeds to start trying to summon trees.
That
Okay.
young lady
There's
has
no
the
trees.
right idea.
There's an amusement park. But I will say, like, as you're doing this, you guys hear the squeak of sneakers on the tile a bit further back down the hall.
Ryan's immediately like flipped over with like gun pointed.
Okay. You hear a whispered voice calling out, "Whoa, whoa, whoa, don't shoot." And you see Fishboy Plays emerging from the shadows.
It was the kid.
Oh, this one.
Ah,
are you doing
they're summoning
here?
fish people.
No, stop. I'm a good fish boy.
Now, don't shoot.
Okay.
Don was like, "What are you doing here?" Again.
He has like a GoPro on his hat, still revealing his beautiful dyed pink hair. He's like, "Look, it's just me, no camera crew. I'm doing one of those like dead mall videos."
I understand literally nothing about what's happening at the moment. Why is there a fish with a camera and pink hair?
All right, yeah. Let me try and explain.
Dude, this is not the right time or place to even explain why you're here.
Okay.
Is pink hair a common thing in the future? And when does
Uh,
that start?
I mean, I'll just say it started with me. It's like my style. So, I mean, Moxie is kind of biting it with hers.
I've been doing the pink hair thing ever since my dad dyed my hair pink as a prank when I was 3.
And I think Donovan would just look at all of you and be like, think it back to the 80s. Yeah, pink is your first. Yeah, you guys invented this, right? Mhm.
I didn't invent pink hair, but I own pink hair. Like I bought all the real estate in pink hair and no one else is invited onto my property, which I own. You owe me rent.
Ugh.
Hashtag real pink haired girl. Hashtag Moxie Pilot rocks.
Ugh. I thought Moxie. I thought our beef was over, but I guess not.
Oh, now you reignited over the pink hair shit. I don't know what to tell you.
All right, twerps. Not the time to get into arguments over hashtags. We have a giant eyeball that's going to kill everyone.
Yeah, that looks pretty rough.
Yeah, so
I kind of want to go get a better look at it. I do have like this drone I was gonna strap the GoPro to and send it flying around.
Fishbar, do you remember the last time you went traipsing around in places you weren't supposed to be?
Yeah, it was pretty bad, but I got a whole bunch of new subscribers.
Oh, yeah. Oh gosh. Point is, kid, you should probably not be here, and you should probably leave before you get hurt.
All right, James. Think I'm gonna have you roll, or yeah, this is for James. Go ahead and roll a charm.
Certainly try. That's a 1.
Okay, he's gonna do the opposite of it. Fish Boy's like, all right, look. Okay, Mister, you need to go home. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna go right down there and get a close look at that giant eyeball. That thing just spells more subscribers. Okay, you guys hear me? This is a Fish Boy Plays. Let's go take a better look at it. Remember to slam that like button.
Excuse me, Mr. Fish Boy, is it, I presume?
My name's actually Thaddeus Thackeray.
Well then, Mr. Thackeray. Far be it from me to question your judgment, and if you really do want to go down there and look at a giant eyeball up close, you should also note the large number of people up there. And if you examine them more closely, you'll see that they're not people at all. So I understand the desire for these folks that you're communicating with through the device on your head, that you desire the adulation, but you should also take into account all the other people down there who are going to try to kill you if you go. So my advice is hold back for a little bit, and then in the very near future, if the eyeball's still around, you can take several photographs of yourself with it.
Well, Wednesday Adams, you may have a point there. Not Moxie. Desi, go ahead and roll charm.
Okay. That is an 18.
Okay.
Because
He's
charm
like,
is her thing.
he's like, okay, I'll tell you what. I'll go ahead and use my little camera drone to swing down there, get some shots, and I'll stay safely up here.
I
That
don't
okay with you
understand
guys?
most of the words that you say, but it sounds copacetic.
Well, check out this little thing. He's got this little oh no, it's totally okay. Oh, sorry, James. Yeah, this is like making you guys be two characters at once. I know it's tough. That's why I was like, can they handle it? And I was like, yeah, you guys are pros. And it's only for one episode, so that's why it's only for one.
It was only a D8 versus D6. It's fine.
All right, cool. Yeah, so he gets out his little camera drone. He's going to start sending it down.
Does he get live feed on that anywhere, like on his phone or anything?
Yeah, he has a little app on his phone, lets him control it and like send it swerving down from the balcony.
And this little device can spy
So
on people.
Yeah, pretty cool, right?
I know it. The government was developing these things back in my time. It just wasn't widespread, but now it's consumer base spread.
Yeah, I got this one at Target.
It's available at Target?
Uh-huh.
That means anyone can spy on anyone. What horrible
Wow.
feature is this?
Duh. I mean, no offense, but like everybody's spying on everybody all the time.
You don't think I know that?
Yeah,
But they
I mean,
just
even
won't
back in your
say
day, everybody was spying on everybody all the time.
Yeah, I kind of want them to spy on me as long as they subscribe and hit that thumbs up button.
Oh, see, I knew there was a reason that we had squashed our beef. Now we're not beefing anymore.
Awesome. All right, so he's going to send the drone down. I think it's definitely get the attention of everybody down there. But at least he's safe. So the drone buzzes down, and then those sunglasses men, there's like maybe 5 of them, all their heads at once turn over to face it, and they start watching as it descends, and they start sort of walking, not running, just kind of walking towards it. They're kind of humming to themselves. You might hear, do you enjoy the latest hits? Echoing through the atrium as
Oh, no.
tingles on their fingers.
I've heard that message before.
Oh, doctor, these things got like a weakness.
Would I even remember what their weakness is? I'm
Well,
not
I think Dr. Maze isn't that old, so I think he knows anything really to do with like fire explosions can hurt them and pretty bad.
Thus, my granduncle's very wise words. Always bring explosives. I assume we have more of those, don't we? Mr. Rabbit?
Yeah, I mean, not on me personally, but I could take these shells and try to reapply them. You know, they're pretty powerful shots, so I could do that. So
We have
basically,
Right.
I could start taking them. He'll start taking out these. I mean, 8-gauge shells are no joke. He'll start taking those out and applying like anything he can around, like say like a small rock or a pebble. Tape it to the bottom where the pin is, so you can hopefully throw it maybe, and it'll hit on contact. There's no guarantee. It's like a gamble, but if you don't want to shoot things, you can use them as explosives.
Okay. I'll say you rig up a couple without a problem. I don't think I'm gonna make you roll for that one, but to
Okay.
use them all, I'll make you roll, and then we'll see kind of how well they do. All right. So I guess how many do you think you have time to make?
Oh, probably 2. That's. I think that's pushing it.
All right. So you got 2 of these ready.
Maybe 3, but yeah, I'd say 2.
Okay. The sunglasses men are now pursuing the drone as it's buzzing around. Judith's like, "All right, guys, I think this is it. We gotta get down there. We
Uh,
still got Candle to worry about, but you guys think we can handle him?"
I don't see why not. Before we go, was it Doctor and Doctor the
Yeah, this is Dr. Maze.
Please make
Maze,
your appearance.
you said you knew those creatures that are following that weird contraption. Do you know what they're called?
I'm not exactly sure myself. All I know is that they appeared back when I was a kid, tried to kill me and my friends, and they kept repeating that same phrase. Do you know the latest hits?
Do you know the latest hits?
I think Moxie's got something.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, is there mention of them specifically in Dertofel's book?
I was actually hoping to see if I can do some cross referencing of any sort of information that Brian gets, and try and see if he can find different things with the fire and all of that, and so
Yeah, I would say so. Go ahead, give me a brains roll and see what you can.
Well, I don't want to step on Nick's thing. I'm sorry. I thought.
Oh,
no, that's
right.
fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you want to finish the other thing? That's.
Oh, that was basically I was trying to figure out, because Brian was basically just trying to figure out if there's any sort of correlation with these weird mannequin creatures and Abraxas. So he was trying to do that and sort of looking through the book as well.
Right. Okay.
Oh.
So how Brian gives me a brains roll?
Sure. Which I believe, yes. Not very good roll for a D20. It's a 6. Actually, he is skilled at folklore.
Oh yeah, this definitely is folklore.
Okay. So 9.
Pretty good. Okay, they are emanations of Abraxas. Same
So-
as the
okay.
goo piles, the Abraxanites that he battled before.
Okay. So Brian will be like, oh, this sounds like those creatures that we faced in our time. Different look. Ours were more goo-like.
Do they have a name? These creatures.
Um,
that you faced?
Player immediately forgot the name. I'm sorry.
Those emanations of
Abraxan.
Abraxas.
Yeah. Braxonites? Something. Yeah. Basically,
Nice.
I I hear you
Echoes
said
of
emanations of
Abraxas.
Abraxas.
Emanations of Abraxas. Yes, emanations of Abraxas. Yeah, that's what it was. Yeah, it says right here.
So now Moxley will look up and see if there's any mention of this in Dortelful's book. Does that
Okay.
work?
I don't think you even have to roll for that. Like, it's like emanations of Abraxas. That's what the Earl King is. He's a higher level, of course, but he's connected to it. Same with the Grim Huntsman. All of these are creatures connected to it.
Gotcha. Does the book have a method of controlling them?
These ones difficult to control, especially if Candle's already got them on the side. But actually, the book does have. Oh, Solomon, go ahead.
I do have a way to control the Moxie. My dad controlled the Huntsman for years. Through this very game I have right here.
Yes, Shadow Sentinels could do it, depending on how you roll.
Do you want me to try with that game? You want to do it?
Well, it's a multiplayer game. Requires a lot of people. So, would you care to play a game with me, everyone?
You're just like, all right, let's give it a try. Okay, so let's have two people go ahead and roll brains, and we'll see what happens here.
I'm willing to be one of them.
Solomon, if you're anything like your father, you suck at dice. Let me roll this.
Okay, let's have Solomon and Dr. Mays roll.
Oh, I rolled already.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. How'd you guys
Moxie
do?
and Dr. Mace. Yeah.
Okay. I got a 15.
Let's see. Dr. Mace got a 20 in brains. 18.
Okay, here's what I think happens. You don't quite take control of them. Instead, you summon the game brings some other emanations to the playing field. As you look down, you see this dark flickering light, and then the Earl King comes out on one side, the Grim Huntsman comes out on the other, and both of these hulking antlered forms of just living shadow stand at attention.
Oh, fucking hell. Why are you summoning the Earl King?
This is the thing that's trying to kill me, like right as we speak.
It's all right. According to this game's rules, they should be under our control at least for a little while. Isn't that right, Solomon? Yeah, Professor, it should be all right. Dad, is it all right? It's all right.
All right, so what do you command the Earl King and the Grim Huntsman to do?
Which one do you want?
I'll take the antler guy. That's both of them, isn't it?
Yeah. The one's got like more skeletal antlers. The other one is a bit more deer shaped.
I'll take the one that looks like a high school mascot.
That was the Huntsman.
Or is it the Huntsman?
Yeah, the Huntsman's the mascot one.
You'll take the Huntsman? Very well. I'll take the Earl King, and let's make them run rampant.
Gotcha.
All right. You guys set them loose. They charge across.
I mean, Moxie takes a selfie first, but then yes.
Oh, of course, with this horrifying monster going.
Excellent. Video evidence is the correct way of going about this. You have a future in all this, young lady.
I hope so.
All right. The Earl King and the Grim Huntsman then charge down. Earl King busts out its humongous claws. The Huntsman readies its huge axe. Those five sunglasses men spin around. They have a chance for a quick do you enjoy the latest before axe and claw start rushing down and slicing into their bodies. It gets pretty messy. There's a melee just ripping its way through this amusement park as chunks of suits, gooey body parts, and of course flying blades and claws are going everywhere. And because of this chaos, the way is now pretty clear to reach the eye.
At least this version of the Huntsman I didn't have to tackle.
You're just like, well, the night's young. Let's get over there before they finish off the
Wait.
sunglasses men. Come on. She leads you guys down the powered down escalator, and you reach the atrium and start making your way towards the eye. Unfortunately, Candle is still there. And he kind of steps up and goes like right in front of you guys. And he's like, well, looks like you brought some friends.
Oh, I
Just
thought
a
you were gonna
couple.
do like a huge speech and everything.
Yeah.
It's not. Yeah.
No. Go on.
No, I was just gonna shoot you.
Oh.
But
well, in
whatever,
that case-
like evil machinations you wanted to say, go ahead and say them.
Well, in that case, and his hand starts to glow. You gonna try and shoot him?
Yeah, Brian's gonna try and shoot him.
All right, go ahead and roll fight.
Ooh. That's a 10.
Ooh, pretty solid. Probably not a killing blow, but definitely doing a lot of damage to him. How do you shoot him?
Brian just takes up the new rifle that he has, flips off the safety, and just does like a pretty quick like maybe like a couple of small bursts like near like I think one of them maybe takes out his leg, or at least one of his legs.
Okay. All right, so the bullets just like rip through his leg. He falls over, lands on his back, and he sits up with a roar, or not. He like with a groan, and faces you guys, and he's like, "Ugh, you should have realized something. I didn't fake my death. What was in the cell, I really did end up hanging myself. Hard, but I pulled it off." Huh, little pun there. However, at the moment of death, something else went into me, and then his eyes start to glow with that green fire so familiar to you. And he's like, "That's right. I've got a Braxis inside of me all along. However,
Yes, I do.
after I finish off you won't be." Oh, what was that, James? Oh, I think Moxie also wants to say something.
Yeah.
When you said I had a Braxis in me, like all along, Moxie says, tightly a sex tape.
I'm just imagining tentacles in wrong places myself.
He's like, "Jokes, that's all you got."
Hey,
Hey,
you're
it's all
setting
I
them up,
got.
man.
So yeah, he's now kind of floating in the air, his bullet shot leg behind him. As he's doing this, the roller coaster cart, which is like, it has several different carriages rattling along. He kind of like floats over and plops himself in one. He's definitely injured. Like, Abraxas is powering his mortal frame, but he can still take some damage. He's like, "All right, I'm gonna make the ablation work a little bit ahead of schedule. Goodbye." And he starts zooming away with the roller coaster, which is going to arc right over that giant eye.
Could Brian sort of try and see if he could find like something about the ablation, seeing if there's like any weaknesses?
Yeah, give me a brains roll, and let's see what I mean, I know Rabbit's made those shotgun things. Let's see if we can use them,
Mhm.
or maybe some other plan.
Yeah, he's taking a look at probably the structure of these amusement rides.
Mm-hmm.
He knows that there's a lot of weight to them, so he might be trying to put those at like the desk, like at like the base of one of the structural struts or something like that, and then he might
Oh, I
actually
like
like do sort of like a rushing tackle into it or something like that to try to knock them over like after it goes off or something.
Ooh, okay. James, how did you do?
I got a 13 with Brian's brains. And,
All right, I should have said Brian. How'd you do?
Yes.
Nice.
13's pretty solid. Okay, so destroy this eye. You got to get close with it. You all got to be there, like all 8, for the ritual to work. And When you do that, when you link up, that'll be enough, and the ritual of management will begin.
Do we have to do the ritual out of this book here? Moxie
Yeah,
asks.
it's in there. It's in Dertufel's book.
Okay, I'm on it.
Okay, so you start reading it.
Yeah.
Ravitz, let's blow up this roller coaster.
Yeah, or yeah, hopefully at least slow it down from getting there because he's got like a head start to the eye, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
There's other carriages you could try and follow him onto, or just try and run over.
Ooh, okay. I'm gonna try to at least stall him while we find another carriage. But that's my goal.
Okay, give me a. Let's see, planning explosives. I mean, I could see fight. I could see brains. What do you think?
I'd rather brains in all honesty. More of like an intelligent move than like I'm hitting something.
Yeah. Okay, that sounds good.
That's what I prefer to roll for him, if that's okay.
Oh, please go ahead.
All right. Yeah, that didn't work out. Dang it. That's a 1. Yeah, first time he made them, so obviously, trial and error.
Maybe
Only
just-
ones tonight.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah,
well,
that's
It's like the fourth one.
I know. Hey,
my
maybe
first roll.
Michael turn. All right, so got some bad news. I think like you rush over, or Rabbits rushes over to start to try and plant this charge. Then Candle decides you're coming along with him.
gotcha.
He like looks back, he reaches back with his hand. These green tendrils of energy seep out of his fingers. They wrap around you, like grab you by the waist, pulling you off of the floor, and now you're like floating behind his roller coaster as he's zooming along towards the eye.
I am
Another carriage. Go ahead.
thoroughly surprised.
Oh yeah. Another cart is rushing over. Let's check in with Solomon and Dr. Mays.
Professor, Desdemona, can either of those antler guys come back, or just too busy dealing with those Abraxas knights?
I'm sorry, I don't know anything about the antler guys, other than one's trying to kill me. Did you want to talk to the other little girl who's here?
I tried to avoid talking to her personally, but guess I'll be forced to. Moxie,
What's up?
can you bring back that antler guy, or is he too busy?
Does he seem too busy, Michael?
He's holding his own, so he can make it.
He can make it.
All right. We can get some more backup, because I don't think the professor's really going to listen at this point. And you can see Professor Mays just, yes! Smash those little things that traumatized me so much. Yeah, he's a bit
Yeah,
into
he
it.
seems to be into his own thing. No, I'm on it. Should have
But-
come to me first rather than the other kid who just seems, scared. I'm not scared. You're scared.
But I do have something for you two. And Solomon pulls out the cutlass. I haven't exactly used this at all, but I know it's related to something in the past. More specifically, yours.
Like, yes, that's my father's cutlass.
Is there anything we can do with it? I know there's some legends connected to it, but I'm not exactly good at this stuff myself.
I mean, from what I remember, it destroys monsters. I'm not sure if that gentleman quite qualifies as a monster yet. It's pretty close, wouldn't you say?
Almost definitely. See his leg dangling there. And he's got poor rabbits. Or was that poor rabbits? Yeah.
Those rabbits.
Mhm.
He's the strongest person that I know, and now he's an adult, so he must be doubly as strong.
But hey, why don't you say we do some monster slaying then?
Okay, you probably should be the one in charge of the sword, as that I do walk on crutches.
Yeah, I noticed that. But don't worry. Hey, you'll be able to help out. I know that. You're a smart kid.
Certainly. Well, thank you for noticing that.
Yes. And Moxie, keep doing what you're doing.
I'm a super genius. She's gonna
All right.
do the thing, but whenever you want her to, Michael.
So the Grim Huntsman starts heading back. Solomon, you just kind of wanted to bring the Huntsman back, you think?
wanted to bring the huntsman back and see if I could do anything special with this cutlass. I
Okay.
remember it used to summon a ghost back then, right?
Well, something different happens with the cutlass this time.
Mhm.
As you bring it out, it starts glowing and it points like a compass to the eye, as if it like really wants to go there.
Okay, it wants to go to the eye. Going to the eye?
I suppose we should follow it then.
Yeah, it's kind of pulling me that way. So, yep, I'm going. I'm going. Okay, we're
After
going.
you, Papa's cutlass.
And we're just gonna head
Okay.
straight for the eye then.
All right, so you guys make your way to the eye. A little tricky to go like under the roller coaster. I mean, it's the fastest way, but you get there. Let's go check back on Moxie and Desi. What do they do?
Oh well, Desi's following to the eye, and
Oh, right, of course. What is
Moxie's
Moxie
trying to control not the huntsman, the other one.
Oh, she had the Earl King?
The Earl King.
Oh wait, no, she did have the huntsman then.
Yes.
I had it backwards. Yeah, so she's trying to control the huntsman to go. I'm guessing the opinion is try to rescue rabbits.
That's
Oh,
true.
so
You got to have all 8 of you in front of the eye.
Yeah, so what she's trying to do is have this monster Evangelion up over there and like grab rabbits and bring him over to the eye faster than the cart's gonna get there.
Okay. Maybe give me a brains for like controlling summoned creatures. I think that's what we decided on.
Yeah. That is a 10. Because I don't
Okay.
think I could put my computer skills to use here. I'm not translating.
Probably
anything to
not.
Computer. 10's not
Well,
bad.
Yeah, I think a 10 works. It's not too complicated of a thing.
Okay.
It rushes over, it swoops rabbits out from the grip, and then brings him to a halt and like sets him right in front of the eye. I think just as Desi and Solomon get close to it. The eye is like shifting around, the big pupil is like staring at you, and that sword is glowing like crazy right now. Judith
Moxie
calls.
probably makes it over at about that time too. I'd
Yeah,
imagine.
Judith's like, all right, all of you, Donovan, Doctor, James, Brian, we got it. You got to get to that eye. I'll do what
All
I
right.
can to hold off Candle.
Yeah, we haven't been using Judith's powers.
Yep, she's still got 4.
Yeah. I can't really think. I don't know if.
Was there anything else like holding us from getting to the eye besides Candle?
I think it's just
He's on the train, right? Or
Yeah.
the
still able to like cast spells at you guys as he's zooming around.
I've got an idea for one of Judith's powers. It's kind of a callback to the rat drop.
Oh, sure.
So this time, instead of a rat drop, it's just tons of cockroaches.
Oh man, I love it.
They just come like spilling out of the ceiling all over Candle.
Oh, beautiful.
If nothing else, that should distract him from casting spells for a hot minute.
Definitely.
Insect plague.
Are you guys okay with taking up one of the energy tokens for this?
Yeah.
Okay, so you got 3 out of 7 now. All right, cockroaches rain down. Mox cat? What does this look like?
Sure. So it's like one of the vents up in the ceiling. Like it kind of, the grate kind of like there are things moving in and out of it, and then it bulges for a second. Then the whole grate just falls out, and it's just roach rain onto the roller coaster as it's going.
Oh
Just
man.
all over. It gets in his mouth because he looks up at the
Oh.
noise. It's real bad.
Roach Rain is like a good like punk album name, I gotta say. Yeah. All right, so the roaches just bury him. I think he even falls out of the roller coaster. He wasn't wearing that seatbelt thing. Candle doesn't believe in that. And he like falls down, bangs against the metal, and crashes down. He's looking up as these insects rain over him in even worse shape, but he's definitely distracted. So everybody can reach the eye. All right, I think you guys go there. And then the sword starts glowing even more. The pupil is facing you guys. And then while you're there, like the sword, almost by itself, Solomon, in your hands, goes up, starts slicing into that eye, cutting it open. And then on the outside, or like on the in the cut as it grows, you guys see another place. there's like a bright, or not so bright, like a gray kind of mist, some foggy sunshine creeping through. It wraps over you, and then here's what happens. The world shifts and dances. The floor of the mall falls away, replaced by a rolling wooden deck. Antiseptic mall air and mildew vanishes, salt spray replacing it. You're on an old-timey sailing ship, canvas sails thick in a stormy wind above you, the skull and crossbones flying from the mast. Captain Baldwin Blake, pirate legend, stands at the tiller of the Vengeance as his crew run out the guns. Around them, stone towers burst out of the sea, ethereal green tentacles reaching to stop the Vengeance. Captain Blake faces you and somehow doesn't look surprised. Welcome aboard, he doffs his tricorn.
Greetings. I am Desdemona Barrow.
Barrow, are ya?
Yes, and I think that you and my father might eventually have a run-in, or already have had a run-in. Or perhaps it was one of my... I don't know. My father lived a very long time. Nevertheless, please don't hold it against me. What year is it currently?
1706.
Then we have ended up in my past. And I suppose everybody else's past as well. How might we assist you?
Well, I won't turn down the assistance. I'm sailing against this sort of sea demon known as Abraxas, right into the heart of his cursed city, the sunken city of Ease. But as you can see, it's not that sunken right now. And these towers are like kind of bursting out of the water, crashing into the sides of the ship. You can find some way to keep us from running aground and hold those tentacles off. I don't know how I know this, but I've got a gift for you.
Marvelous. Meanwhile, Moxie's like, does anybody else have, like, no bars? I've got, like, no bars.
All this
Yeah,
happening
you're-
in bars is what you're worried about.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're way pre-internet.
I'll
All right,
never
let's
get
check
these
in with
twerps.
James here. I think James and Brian, because I'm wondering how they're reacting to this. I think this is when a tower, a spire comes bursting out of the water, ripping into the side of the ship, and a tentacle whips down from the top of it and starts trying to like sweep up some of the crew and all of you guys.
Well, Brian's seen this ship before when he was a kid, so he remembers it and he's like, yes, Captain Barrow. Well, better get to the thick of it. And he just sort of, I sadly don't have any adversity tokens with Brian apparently, so I can't really use any of his skills. So
Oh no, he still has the modern gun.
that's true. He does have that, and he does have a few knives in his backpack. So I guess he would sort of grab his cold iron knife and hand it to James, just be like, see if you can use this. And James is just like, okay, sure. And I think Brian is just basically just gonna try and unload on the tentacles, see if he can like get it away from them, maybe the pain or something.
All right, why don't you go ahead and roll, I guess, once for Brian, once for James. I think these are both fight rolls.
All right, 2 different dice.
I know, confusing. Like I said, glad we're only doing this once.
Okay, well, James got a 1, so
Oh, another one. Okay. How did Brian do? We'll see what happens with James.
not much better with a 4.
Okay. I think you do. I think Brian does some damage to the tentacles. Okay. We'll check in. I think we'll check in with I'm trying to remember the kind of the order we had. Okay, yes. We'll bounce over to Solomon after this, I think. Or no, it's Dallas, then Solomon. Okay. So here's what happens. The gun unloads on the tentacle. It recoils a bit, but it still manages to do some damage to the ship. Unfortunately, James, he stabs the knife into it, and then he gets grabbed by that tentacle. He is pulled off, like smashed into the railing, and he's about to go over the side. He's about to be man overboard.
I completely forgot that James was cool under pressure. Dang it.
Oh, okay. And also,
Right.
I'm gonna say he gets injured too. Like his
That's
shoulder,
fine.
bad bruises.
Yeah.
Okay. Meanwhile, what are Donovan and Rabbits doing?
I think Donovan would go into an instant reaction, and he did retrieve a tomahawk from the Barrow residence.
Oh,
So
yes.
he probably-
So is that Tomahawk?
Yeah, so he would probably go after the tentacle and try to like see if this thing could possibly even do some damage, hack it off. While Rapids would probably try to grab a cannon and aim it at as many tentacles at once as possible. Possibly even holding the damn thing while doing it and firing it. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh man,
But,
the underarm cannon.
Yeah. maybe it's just a port side cannon, not a full one. You know what I mean? Just like a little one.
Swivel
but still.
cannon.
Yeah, thank
Yeah,
you.
one of the smaller guns there. Okay.
It's like
So
a swivel.
how
Yeah,
does-
thank you.
All right, let's go ahead and roll for Donovan first with the tomahawk.
All right. Let's see if we can. It's 11, and do I get protection because I'm trying to protect somebody?
Yeah, I
Would
mean
that-
you're
would that
protecting
count?
the whole ship. Yeah.
Okay, cool. So that's a +3, so that becomes a 14.
Ooh. Okay, how do you take this tentacle down?
Well, probably through a few quick hacks. Since it's a tomahawk, it's not like a huge axe like James would probably carry. So this thing is probably like quick 1, 2, 3, and then it's like off of him or something like that. But
Definitely.
first time he's using a bladed weapon, so this is definitely a new thing.
Well, I think you handily take that tentacle apart.
Sweet.
All right, and then Rabbit swivels the cannon around. Let's see how he does.
All right. Ooh, please. That's a 4 because you said fight, right? So that's gonna be a 4.
Okay. I think he does if there's a downside. So like where does he fire this cannon?
Probably at a place where he thinks it's going to make it like collapse and fall off the ship from grabbing anybody instead of like trying to shoot it itself, if that makes sense. So probably at a railing point or something like that.
Right. Okay, so he like fires into one of these spires, and the spire like is blasted back and falls back into the sea. But I think he was not paying attention to his the recoil of the cannon. It slams him back into the railing, and now he is also in danger of becoming a man overboard.
Gotcha.
And I think that Donovan, you weren't saving James, were you, with the hacking, or were you?
It was who got picked up by the tentacle?
That was James.
Yeah, that's what I thought so. Yeah, that's what I was going for.
Oh, okay,
right.
good. Yes, you
That's
did
what I was
save him. So he's safe,
Okay.
but now Ravis is
Yeah.
about to fall overboard.
Yeah, he's a big target today.
But hey, you're doing a lot of damage. Like when the tentacles is gone, there's maybe like just a few more that are still bothering the Vengeance. All right, Solomon, Dr. Mays, what are you guys doing in the middle of this chaos?
I have an idea. Dr. Mays, do you think you can provide me with some wind in the sails? Wind in the sails? Use the board game. You'll figure it out immediately. Very well, young Brimson, if that's what you wish me to do. I mean, all I have is this ungodly knowledge in my brain, but sure, I'll provide wind in your sails. And Solomon's going to ask the captain, Captain, permission to man the wheel.
Captain Blake's like, well, when some travelers from the future appear on your vessel, I suppose the least you can do is let them take the wheel. Be my guest.
Don't worry, I've driven this before. Well, something like this. It's all feeling.
Whoa. Okay, so Solomon's gonna pilot the pirate ship?
Yeah, and hopefully get us away from these tentacles. Basically, hope to provide some, I don't know, ample footing so no one goes overboard.
Oh, I like that. Okay, maybe this is brains. I can also see brawn because you're like twisting the wheel. What do you think it would be?
I was also thinking flight since. it
Oh
was
yes,
mentioned.
yes, flight, because you're flying the pirate ship.
Yeah. And Dr. Mace is going to be playing Shadow Sentinels to hopefully summon up a gust of wind, provide for the sails.
Okay, let's see what happens there.
So on the first and the second. Okay. First for Solomon, I would say 11. And then for Dr. Maze playing Shadow Sentinels, it's a 20 on the brains.
Whoa, is that a does it explode?
Yes.
Oh man, there's those good rolls. Okay, go ahead and roll again for the explosion.
So it's 11 for Solomon and 24 for Dr. Maze.
Okay. All right. Oh, I should say Judith is not with you guys. She was not because she's not
Oh.
part of the ritual because she's an ablation herself, so she can't actually go into the past with you.
Don't know.
Yes, she's still back in the mall. All right. So sorry, Solomon. What was the total for the sale?
For Solomon, it was 11. Dr. Maze, 24 for the wind.
Okay. Yeah, that's like the perfect amount of wind comes in. It combines with the perfect seamanship, and the ship like deftly maneuvers through these towers rising out of the sea. Ravitz is no longer in danger of falling off. It's even despite the storm, it's a nice like even sail through these ruins and like just zooming under the tentacles. All right, so now that nobody's in danger of falling overboard, let's check in with Moxie and Desi.
Well, what's the situation now? Are there still tentacles? Is there still a storm?
The storm has kind of calmed down, but the tentacles are still there, but they just haven't like landed on the ship.
Gotcha. So I think that what Moxie's trying to do is look through the spell book to find like a protective shield to put over the ship. But she's struggling with it because without her computer, she's not as good at reading Latin, which she says aloud like, I'm not as good at Latin without my computer. And Desi says like, well, what do you mean you're not good at Latin? You seem like an educated girl. You clearly should be fluent in it by now. What? Oh, for goodness sakes, let me look. What are you looking for in this? Protective shield. Oh, okay. Desi starts thumbing through the book and is like, here you go.
Ooh, perfect. All right.
So they're
Hey,
kind of
benefits?
assisting each other.
Yeah, benefits of a classical education. All right, why don't you give me 2 brain rolls for each of them and see what happens?
Sure. I was hoping that with Desi, I could use the fact that she's skilled at the occult to just sort of take the success on it.
Oh,
Provided
yeah.
that it's set at a 9 or lower for difficulty.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Okay, cool. And then I'll actually roll for Moxie,
Okay.
which is also it's a 10.
Okay.
So-
Yeah, that's solid. I think it does it. Nothing, no benefits. But what does the shield look like?
It's just kind of like one of those things you can't even see it until the tentacles try to hit against it. At which point it kind of kicks up a thing, like
okay.
like it's an invisible barrier until the tentacles hit, and then it's like a sort of puts off a sickly greenish light when it hits.
Very cool.
If that makes sense. But when it does hit, Moxie goes like, I think I misunderstood a thing about the spell. Because it's hurting her when it gets hit instead.
All right. Well,
I
thankfully.
know I didn't technically even have a semi-success, but I feel like she should start getting punished for using this book.
Oh, for sure, for sure. All right. Well, yeah, it's definitely hurting her. Yeah, it's an evil book. It's the devil's book.
Yeah.
But thanks to that, only a few strikes with the tentacles happen, thanks to Solomon's good roll. The ship sails safely through and is now away from the ruins, floating in the open waters. Captain Blake says, "Well, mateys, that was some fancy work and no mistake. You saved our hides back there. Should I even ask how you came to be aboard my vessel?"
It would be a very long story, and most of us are confused by it too.
All right.
Something to do with portals and your old cutlass.
Oh, my old cutlass. Let me see that.
Yeah, sure.
He like looks it over and he's like, "Ah, yes. I traveled all over the world getting this thing ready, making it perfect for the slaughtering of supernatural beasties. Certain enchantments, runes carved in the metal, uh, blacksmiths who knew their way around certain ingredients that could bind demons. Visited Hungans, Obeas, all throughout the islands
And the
to
professor's
have,
just writing this down.
yeah,
Yes, go on.
to have the
Go
right
on.
enchantments. So this thing's been blessed by almost every culture there is. But the one you gave me, it's old. I'm going to give you something else in return that I think could help you on your voyage. And he gives you his actual cutlass, his present cutlass, which the old one, like, it was sturdy, but there were some rust bits. The runes had faded. The magic had kind of gone away from it. This one, like, it's in its beautiful prime. And he gives that to Solomon. The contemporary cutlass.
It's a
And
nice
he's like,
artifact.
yes.
Well,
I think
huzzah
whatever
for
Richard-
that.
What's that?
I said huzzah, sir.
Ah, huzzah indeed.
So we're just supposed to stab this into Abraxas when he shows up?
Oh, I think it's gonna do more than that. I think you're gonna visit the devil in his own hell. Take a look off the side. And you look over and you see there is another portal flashing to life in the sea. This time, the waves are just pushed back, and there's just a pool of nothingness, of just darkness in the water there.
That sounds about right.
So are we just supposed to jump in that?
Captain Blank's like, I could put out the plank if you want.
Well, how close are we to the portal right now?
It's pretty close. I don't think you'll need the plank. You can just hop off.
Oh, well, Moxie stands up on the railing and says, "The cake is a lie," and then jumps into the portal.
Ooh, cool portal reference.
Twerp to the end.
No, James is like right after Moxie. He's like, well, all right. And
Okay, you guys all dive through the portal.
Desi's probably the last one to go, and she's like, "Thank you, sir. It was a pleasure to meet you. I'm sorry if my father ends up killing you."
No hard feelings, lass. Best of luck to ye.
"Thank you, sir." And she'll also jump into the portal.
All right. Once again, the world shifts. You're not on a pirate ship anymore. You're in the void. There's no smell, no taste, no sound. Nothing but emptiness, the occasional fragments of ice and stone. If there wasn't magic keeping you alive, you'd suffocate, or simply blink out of existence. Chunks of that ice and stone float and dance in space in random patterns. At the center, somehow above and below you at once, is something like a giant emerald eye, at once faint and solid and burning into your gaze. You see it and you want to scream, but in the dimension of Abraxas, there is no sound. All right, so you're lost here in this void. There's like chunks of rock and ice you can latch onto, but there's no up, there's no down, and the eye is all around. It's a psychic assault. It's a physical assault. Just being here hurts. And Abraxas knows you're there. He's like pushing wind, he's pushing energy against you to try and stop that sword from getting to his eye. His real eye. All right, James and Brian Kelly, what do you do?
Let's see. You said there's sort of.
Yeah, right now you're floating. It's like you're swimming.
Yeah.
There are like chunks of matter in here you can hang on to.
Okay. Chunks of matter. Okay. So I think without really knowing what he's doing, James is just going to try and like grab onto the nearest thing that he can and try and see if he can use it to push himself forward. And I mean, there's not really much else I can do.
Okay, remember your goal is to get. Right now, you're kind of all sort of far away from the pupil.
Mm-hmm.
But your goal is to get. Is Solomon the one wielding the sword?
Yeah, but I can toss it to anybody.
Okay, your
Depending
goal
on
is to get the sword into Abraxas. Okay, I think Moxie said she's got something.
Yeah,
James, is it okay if we kind of let her get things going there?
Yeah, cool.
Okay.
Sorry,
Moxie,
I don't
what's
mean
the
to
plan?
cut in line, but what
No,
she
it's-
plans to do might make it a lot easier for everybody else to move forward.
Yeah, go for it.
So Moxie knows that a lot of this book is powered by Abraxas, right?
Mhm.
So what she's going to do is she's going to just start casting shit out of this book just randomly to like pull power from Abraxas to make it easier for everybody else to move forward. Like basically, she's going to use her obnoxiousness for a purpose. So
Oh, I love it.
she is here to just pull power out of Abraxas through the book out into just doing garbage with it. Like the dumbest thing she can think of to do with this book is what she plans to do. And hopefully that'll distract Abraxas enough that everybody else can start moving.
Ooh. Okay, go ahead and roll.
Obviously that's going to bring his ire on her and it might kill her, but you know.
Well, let's see what happens. Roll brains. I think it could if it's like not so great a roll.
And by the way, can I count her rebellious for this because she is defying the power of like the supreme adult?
Yes.
Okay.
This is the eldritch horror that is the supreme adult.
Cool. With rebellious, that's an 18.
Ooh, okay, it works perfectly. So what kind of crazy spells are coming out?
Because you
here?
did say brain, right?
Yes.
Okay, awesome. I was like, if it's a grit, she's way more screwed. Well, that's still a D10. So basically, she's trying to come up with just dumb things. Like she's making dancing hippos and like flowers and a unicorn that flies around on like a rainbow fart. Just like really kind of making just dumb illusion magic with it. Like none of these things are even tangible. It's a thing that like as an adult, like she's basically doing the equivalent of why are you hitting yourself? Why are you hitting yourself? You know, like it doesn't harm Abraxas in any way. It's just super obnoxious and a huge waste of his powers.
All right. So these kooky doodles come to life, draining Abraxas' power. The eye, like the pupil, is kind of shifting and dancing around.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, you guys can now see the way is clear to strike.
I will say, Brian, just like, "Hey kid, can I get that sword there?" And
Yeah, you're probably better at using the sword than me. That or Donovan, any one of you, really.
right then, and he's just gonna, with the path open, he's gonna rush forward and try and do what he tried to do back in his day.
Okay. I think you're gonna need one person to like stick it in, and then one person to slash. It's gonna be tricky.
Yeah.
Can Jack try to judo throw Brian like off one of, you said like there's rocks floating and stuff like that? Can I
Yeah.
just sort of like toss him faster in a way for
Oh
more
yes,
energy?
yes, absolutely. All right,
That's
let's have Ravitz roll for that, and then so that will be Braun, I think.
Okay.
Okay, and then James, give me maybe fights.
I was hoping Brian was gonna do that, but
Yeah, I'm throwing
Oh,
Brian.
Brian, I mean,
Yeah.
yes.
So
Yeah.
that's a 16 from Rabbits on the Brawn. That
Oh,
is his,
16 is perfect.
that is
Grab
his
this
skill.
die. Ooh, Good stuff. Good stuff. Good stuff. No, I don't think that really. No, skilled at folklore doesn't really do with anything with that. So 10.
Ooh. Okay. So yeah, Rabbit's like is able to judo throw Brian, who hurls through the air, sword outstretched. It plunges right into Abraxas' eye up to the hilt. Smoke starts pouring out of the wound. It's wedged there, and you can tell the sword wants to cut down. It's going to need just a little more strength to go to cut down and to slice up Abraxas for good.
Can James just be like, "Oh, hey, big man, do you want to give me a hand with this?" And
Sure. Run at me.
all right.
And then as you do that, he rolls back and we'll do like a repeat if possible.
Okay. Rabbits, let's have you roll. I think this will be Braun one more time to pull it down.
Oh no, it's a 3.
Oh no. Okay.
That's what
You
happens on the D20.
Ooh. All right. You start to pull. It starts to cut. The smoke is coursing out even more. But then I think Abraxas' wins, like the pupil faces you. This ethereal green wind just kind of rips you back and floats you away, leaving the sword stuck in there. It's got to have one more pull to cut it free.
Yeah. Was there any way that James could like try and hold on to the sword?
I think he's still holding on to it, but like barely.
Okay.
All right.
yeah.
Solomon.
They didn't do it. Professor, we're going to have to get in there. You realize that physical things are not my forte, yes? I mean, I'm not going to be able... Professor, we gotta do this. It's not just magic this time. We gotta do this for the good of humanity. Not just to prove something, but just because we gotta do it. Just gotta make my dad proud. Very well, young Brimson. I'm with you. And they're both gonna try and run, grab James's legs, and pull him down. Hopefully he'll hold on to the sword as well. We're just gonna try and put as much weight as we can on that thing.
Okay, give me 2 brawn rolls. I think gravity sort of functions in this dimension.
Yeah, here's the thing. I have a D4 in brawn on both of these characters, I think.
Well, let's see what happens.
Let's see. What did Jordan have? Yep, it's a D4 in both. Okay, I rolled a 1 for Solomon and a 3 for the professor.
Okay. I think the blade is like 2/3 across. The smoke is pouring out. Abraxas getting real upset. The wind's rushing over all you guys. It's going to take one more push to make it go through. Moxie.
Oh,
I think it's
I
up
was
to you to
actually
take
going
it
to have
home.
Desdemona do something because Moxie's busy.
Oh, yes. Desi can do stuff too.
So what Desi wants to do, because she helped Moxie already find these spells, so her use of the book is over. She's going to shout out to all the men who are working to do this. Like, okay, gentlemen, it's just one final push. I know that you can all do it. I believe in you so much. I've seen 2 of you, even when you were children, with a huge amount of strength. The rest of you are men from the future. Now, I'm sure that the 2 of you who were very strong at 15 are doubly so now. And for those gentlemen of you who are from the future, I'm sure that you're taking various, I don't know, supplements to become stronger and better than those of us in the past. So keep at it. I believe in you. You can do this. She's giving them like an encouraging speech.
Oh, that is good.
And that's how she's contributing.
Ooh, okay.
I don't know if I should roll charm or what I'm doing, but
I think it works. Let's have James roll a final time because he's the one wielding the sword.
Sure. Just a brawn?
Yeah.
Alrighty. That's his best skill. Come on, James. Okay. 14.
Okay.
I think finally with the 14, you do it. The sword rips all the way through, smoke courses out, and the eye of Abraxas blinks. And with that blink, you are back in the mall. The ablation just like bursts open, deflates, kind of a collapsed beach ball, leaving a gooey green residue everywhere after it collapses down to nothingness. The roller coaster creaks to a halt with the corpse of Kyle Candle just falling out and collapsing in a heap on the ground. The Earl King's gone. The Sunglasses Men, the Grim Huntsman, also gone. Abraxas's connection to our dimension, for the moment at least, severed. Because of that, because that magic is fading, the characters from the past, their connection to the present is also fading as well. They start drifting back to their own time. So, time to say goodbye.
Well,
You know, maybe one day I'll figure out how those cars don't make noise as they went by, but that's another time.
Chimp should just be like electricity.
No way.
Whoa. Is Rabbit's going to invent the electric car?
Combustion engines, no more? What? No way.
And I think with that, he fades into going back to his present.
Brian will give back the book to Desi. Just like, thank you for that. And then it'll just be like, well, this has been interesting. I'm gonna go now, as he just fades.
All right. What does Dr. Mays say as he disappears?
Going back to my own time period. Well, it's been fun, young Brimson. And younger Brimson. But tell me this. My show, does it ever get on the air? Does it ever reach people? Well, Professor, I gotta say, it becomes more of a cult following. I mean, sure, you get some fans, but it's not really mainstream. But
Oh,
you
is
do
that the
reach
right
a
thing to
couple
tell him?
people. Well, if it was mainstream, it would have reached the wrong people. Those people, those folks who just watch my show for the hell of it, those fearless few, those are the people I want. They'll know the real mystery.
All right. Well, I guess it was a good thing to tell him. And then what does Desi say as she disappears or returns to her own time?
Pink hair girl, quickly, what's your real name? My real name is Moxie Pilot Cordero. Okay. Where do you live? 1512 Mockingjay Lane, Crescent Bay, New Jersey. Why? And Desi disappears at that point.
Interesting. Maybe a time capsule could be left.
More like a bank account.
Ooh, that's even better.
Gotta get some money.
All right. Well, speaking of that, Judith kind of walks over to you guys and she's like, feel a little different. I can't control the weather, can't talk to animals. For
Wait,
now at least.
Shadow Sentinels, does that still work? And someone rolls the dice.
No, just normal dice.
Dang it. The
he's
magic
great.
was the only thing interesting about that game.
Is
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Is Gray Malkin gone?
Yeah, I'm afraid he just faded away.
Oh, dang. Did all the
She
magic
says-
just stop working?
He's like, yeah, I mean, Abraxas' connection to this dimension severed, but he is an unknowable eldritch god, so for better or worse, I'm afraid he'll be back. So Grey Malkin could very well return, and I wouldn't lose your copy of Shadow Sentinels. So guys, I mean, I don't know if maybe it's a little disheartening that we did all this and we've won the battle, but not the war, but I gotta say, when Abraxas gets back, we'll be waiting. And if not us, it'll be the generation after us.
And next time out, we'll be the ones that control him. Yeah.
Let's hope not. All right,
Oh,
let's
it's
get
like
out of
that.
here.
It's like that guy Brian said. He dealt with Abraxas in his time, so it's just sort of a cycle, I guess.
And I guess in that cycle, we've played our part.
The professor's got a whole repository of this stuff. Maybe it's not as bad as I thought it was. Keeping a record on all of this.
Oh, interesting.
So
All right.
thinking-
Well, I think with. Oh, go ahead.
No, never mind. Go ahead.
Okay. No, this is like the final word. So
Dallas, what were you gonna say?
okay. If you're good, that's okay.
Yeah, no worries. No worries. It wasn't anything big. No worries.
Yeah, if he's-
All right. So I think with that, we're going to bring this episode and this arc and this entire series to a close. So before we head out, maybe just give me a real quick epilogue. What do you think happens to your characters in the future of 2021, where we are now? I mean, I guess a year has passed since the pandemic started. Just to remind you of that horrible anniversary. So let's go around and see what's going on with your characters in 2021 or so, or maybe even 2022, or beyond. And then got to give some thanks, some gratitude to everybody. But yeah, let's talk about a little epilogue real quick. James, what happens to him as
Um,
year?
James just goes back to business as usual. Saving lives, putting out fires. He does I think he sort of goes up in the ranks in his time, and just sort of becomes like a very well known firefighter in the Jersey area, and like maybe even like a few other places. Like he's already known as like one of the pivotal ones from 9/11, so he's got that accolade as so he just builds on different accolades among the firefighter community.
Ooh,
So-
very cool. Returning to being a hero.
Yep.
All right. And how about Moxie Pilot? This, I think, bank account you were saying was set up.
Yeah, so Moxie finds out that there's a bank account in her name, but it's a trust and she can't access it until she hits 25. It has a stupid amount of money in it, but she's not allowed to touch it yet, which makes her really angry. But then she also finds out, like, it's a lot of money. So she chills about it. And when she's, like, exiting the bank out in the parking lot, she sees this bright shimmer of light, which is caused by the time anomaly that's been created by all these time travel paradoxes.
Ooh, a little leftover. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Very cool. Good to know her finances are secure.
Yeah, she also starts doing more and more research into like the dark arts.
Ah, kind of that connection remains.
Well, Abraxas isn't the only demon out there.
Oh, that's true. All right. How about Donovan, our doctor?
I think he would join, a very progressive and forward-thinking people as far as health and safety concerns for the world, and he would try to push for more of a like he did with his international sort of film corporation. He'd try to push for more of like a connection through countries, and this pandemic proved that it needs to happen. The secret underlying factor of that pandemic sort of team would be the fact that there's a paranormal research and other facility connected to it all.
Yeah, good to know. Good to be, just in case the next disease is a supernatural source.
Yeah, he knows that there's funding needed for all this, so it's kind of like paper clipping something to the whole idea. Like, yes, of course the world needs medical need, but you all have no idea what else it needs.
Oh, very cool. All right.
so
And then,
through that, he would probably connect with anyone else who would still keep up with it. I know whether or not Moxie said she would do it openly, but she's definitely still keeping up with it. And I know Solomon would as well, so.
did definitely a good cause. And yeah, what about Solomon himself when he returns home? Maybe he doesn't little too old to be grounded, but his dad seemed kind of okay with it. So
You are
what does he do
never
when he gets home?
You are never too old to receive an ass whooping from your parents. And that's
Oh.
exactly what's going to happen.
Oh, so true.
But after that, both his dad and his mom Alice, they both say they're proud of Solomon for what he did. And as for the future, since the Braxis is gone, the whole magic in his show gig is kind of gone. So Solomon's going to turn to a new, something he thought he never really would have liked, but discovered has a habit for it. He's gonna get his pilot's license.
Oh, cool. Kind of using his UFO and pirate ship training.
A little bit, but he's gonna try and sail, planes and stuff. Just get out there and travel
Oh, that's super
across the
cool.
world, and maybe find some new artifacts to put in Dr. Mace's collection for
Whoa.
future generations, much stranger than ours.
Oh, I love it. That's the perfect line to end on, I think. All right. And with that, I really gotta thank you for coming on this strange generation journey with me. It's rare that we get a game that has, the same core four players for we started this October 2020, and we're still, and this is the end of it. We got all the way through with no the same four, which is that's a rare thing in our busy modern world of RPGs. It's quite a feat. And even before that, of course, you guys were such a huge part of all these other games. So I gotta thank you from the bottom of my heart for sticking around, for being there. It's been a highlight of my week. It's something I've been working really hard to prepare, and I just always know that I've got the best players waiting for me on Tuesday. And now there's gonna be more games. I got more plans. We're doing Dark Forest. I think we did an episode or two a while back. I'm gonna bring that back, but for now, I'm gonna take a step out of the driver's seat, let you guys take over. But whatever it is, I'm so glad that we're all along for the ride. So thank you, and Scooter, thank you too for being the one who got this whole thing going, for
For sure.
organizing, running it, hosting
For sure.
it. It's quite a thing that you created here.
Dude, it's been a blast for me.
The man's muted.
Don't have the quite
No.
right.
All I hear is static.
Oh, no.
You're not muted on Zoom.
I'll check it out. You got me?
Hear a little bit of static there.
Man.
No,
Oh no.
still just a buzz. Well,
It's all right.
Scooter,
We can
I
tell
hope we
from
from
the
his
better.
facial ex-
hear our message of gratitude.
I
there.
know.
We can tell from his facial expressions.
Yeah.
He's trying to figure it out. Yes, he's giving us his
There we
thumbs
go.
up.
Am I in there at all?
Yeah.
You're in.
Oh my
Hi.
gosh.
There he is.
I'll figure this board out one of these days, everyone. That's a false promise. I do have to go through a couple things that our amazing fan Gray Mouse is always paying
Oh,
attention
yes.
to
Gotta
some of
give
the
a big
things that are
shout out,
going
big
on.
thank you, to
So
her
thank
as
you
well.
so much.
Yes. Thanks to
Huge.
Gray Mouse.
Said very much great ending, but there was a couple parts in there that was this could change something in the universe. One was kind of a little bit funny here. It was does one of the characters go on to write a memoir titled Abraxas and Me? And also, what happens when COVID-19 is sent back to the 1920s?
None y'all were vaccinated. We just doomed the past.
Hey, nobody was infected.
And
Everybody
no one was infected in the group.
We don't know.
Yeah.
At the time that this all took place, Moxie was under the impression that people under the age of 20 couldn't even get it. Because
So
if you remember, in the early days of the pandemic, that was
Oh,
seriously
Lord.
something people thought. Oh, children can't even get it. It's fine.
Oh, it's very. I just thought that was very funny. I was like, "Ooh, talk about talk about a paradox." There, it's just like,
Oh,
"Oh,
exactly.
wow."
Don't worry, because COVID-19 went back and would kill everybody, which means they couldn't have gone to the future. So obviously it didn't happen.
Hey, that's why I put the shimmering yellow dot. I'm like,
Yes.
there's no way we didn't accidentally.
I just thought that was. I thought that was an amazing like thought process. Thanks, Gray Mouse, for that.
It is a
That
fair
made me
one.
chuckle a lot when I saw that go through. I was like, "Oh my gosh, that's funny." So no, thank you
With the
guys.
time stream.
You guys have been killing it. Yeah, October. I think that was the middle of October or something when we started this series, and we got through it. A lot of things going on in everybody's lives. I know personally, professionally, all of that. Especially with two of you being teachers, your schedule is in flux for sure. And I know a lot of personal things going on and moving to another state,
Right.
and everything. So, yeah, there's just a lot going on with everybody. So we made it through and we're going to keep persevering because that's what we do, right? I mean, this is, we have to make time to do these kind of things. Otherwise, what's the point? This is our cathartic moment, if it be. So thank you guys. I just want to put that little 2 bits in there. I had to make sure that Gray Mouse got those questions put out
Oh,
into
absolutely.
the Strange Generations universe. So I'm going to leave it up to you guys if you guys want to say anything, since it's the final episode of this series. Anybody?
But
Don't practice the dark arts, kid. Don't do the things Moxie does. She doesn't make good decisions.
Yeah, we do not endorse what Moxie does.
Like literally anything that she did, you probably shouldn't do it.
I will say James had probably the most mundane ending of any of my characters.
Well, I mean, he's a hero though, so it's
Yeah, but like he's a hero among firefighters. He didn't like write books or like try and like become like this monster hunter or although Brian did end up like with his family and all of that, so that was sort of mundane.
I don't know. Brian went in a weird place.
Yeah, yeah.
I think that Moxie might be our first one ever to dedicate herself to being the next arc's villain.
Oh, possibly. If we ever do Strange Generation, the new generation, which would be set in the future, I guess, in like 2045 or something.
Sure, let's make utterly inaccurate predictions like they did in Back to the Future too.
Towards-
All of them. All of those.
yeah.
All of those time travel ones.
man,
We should
The
have.
cars.
We should have flying everything right now.
I guess I'll just give a word of thanks to, hey, whoever's watching this, past, present, future. Thank you so much for just being with us through this whole arc. It's great to know that, hey, some people are watching this and enjoying it, and it's just, I don't know, it's a great feeling.
Yeah, we do it for fun, and my passion is to make sure that everybody's having fun, and then if other people want to see people having fun, cool. And then that was kind of our passion when we started out years ago. And I have to say, Michael, you have put some amazing writing into the universe just through these RPGs. I mean, not just your books that you've published, but through these RPGs is like there could be probably another dozen novels written just because of this stuff. So I appreciate you more than you will ever know, sir, because of your talents and your willingness to put that out into the world and do it. How do I say it? And you're not pompous about it. You're not like serious. It's hard to find somebody that is so good at your craft and not arrogant about it. It is the most amazing feeling to be in your presence of this creation. So I have to put that out live, recorded. I don't get to see you in person anymore. I will soon, but I want to make sure that gets out into the universe too, because this is something that's very not just entertaining to me, but I look up to you in a lot of ways when it comes to writing and creating. So thank you for that, sir.
Oh, that means so much. Thank you.
So if nobody has anything else, anybody want to interject, and then we will shed a tear and be back some other Tuesday soon. But
There'll be more games coming.
Yes.
I mean, I'm really excited to play. Like I do like game mastering, but I've been eager to see like the kind of crazy stuff you guys will come up with and to be a player in those things too. So
yeah, we
My
will be
ideas
back
are normal.
on a Tuesday in the future.
I'm looking forward to it.
Very short from now. I don't know if it'll be next week or the week after. We'll see. A lot of people need a break, especially Michael. He puts a lot of work into this. So look for us on a Tuesday coming up very soon. We will all be there. Maybe some different players, but the core of what we do, and everybody here that even if they're not playing or they have played before, they're still part of this community. They're still playing games. They're still playing games with the people you see right here. There's a mix of all of us. So anybody in the past is still playing these games with us. So make sure to do that for yourselves. Make the time, right? So that's where we sign off. See these segues. I'm getting so crappy. How do I segue into it? I've been doing it for 3 years. How do you segue into it? So until you see us next on the next Tuesday that we broadcast at home, make sure and pull up a chair and make time to tabletop.
Tabletop.
All right, guys. We will see everybody very, very soon. Enjoy your
Good
night.
night, everybody.
Good
Beware
night.
the Praxis.